So, with certain shows dropping and Retry already being out, it's very interesting to me to see all of these shows and now how they're, starting to branch out to how they are pretty much, um, you know, how does their stories build up compared to the other stories that I've seen so far, stuff like that. And so far, this story is definitely taking a much more quicker approach at the point of what may turn everybody against this man that's going by the Demon Lord, or just the fact that his overall presence and what he's doing as of right now will easily be able to reach the ears of many people because of just how he's doing things and how quickly things have already happened. From going from like the first episode being called the Demon Lord to now the second episode defeating the Holy Maid, you know, there's not much that people can do in the case of not hearing about this guy, right? Like, there's no way you're not going to hear about him as of right now with the things he's already done and, the way that people already feel about him. It's simple for me to be like, yeah, they're definitely going to probably keep this up. Like he's just probably gonna keep going through people that have really huge names and not even knowing that he's doing such, he then makes his name even bigger than he would really realize. But at the same time, there's a good chance that a lot of this stuff that we've already seen him kind of bring to the table in the overall grand scheme of like his way of thoughts process, like, oh, you should treat me with respect, and spanking people for not doing such, stuff like that is definitely his way of doing things. And if people start to follow him or believe that his way is the best way, that means a lot of people are going to start doing things that he does, so with him already saying that he wants to build a castle, it's definitely clear that he wants to be practically the Eisengon of this world, the overlord, as you will, or as they call him already, the demon lord. So I don't think he necessarily knows he's doing it very, very easily with everything he does. I mean, to go and spank a maid into submission, and then now she's practically, showing up where you are, not just where you are, but she's showing up and, commanding stuff of you. But once you say something back, she doesn't, go against your word. So it already looks like he's tamed a holy mage. He goes by Demon Lord, so that doesn't really bode well for his overall. I'm not a bad guy, or I'm not trying to seize all this power and be all knowing and all powerful. But of course, it seems like he's doing the complete opposite, right? Like everything he does seemingly makes him look more and more like a bad guy. So I like that aspect of the show. I think it's funny. Even if the graphics do look a little lackluster throughout, like the beginning of this week's episode, including with the people that are trying to stop him, or they think he's bait by the mage, and then he kind of like attacks the gang of mole people. They looked, that part of the episode looked kind of rough, but it got cleaned up a little bit towards the end when we got into like the more expensive places. It almost like the show itself was going with the vibe that it's in. Like I feel like the show was really, really hard to translate all of a sudden. And then when we got into the popular place, like the place where everybody's spending all the money and they're like nobles and stuff, all of a sudden it started to look a lot cleaner and a lot easy. Like the animation was, a lot cleaner, and not only cleaner, but it just looked a lot better to look at. So I don't know if that's an indication of them doing that on purpose, or if this was just like an easier place to animate, or they've had there's a lot of people that have animated a town that the main characters travel to and wind up buying all of their stuff, supplies and stuff like that. So I'm guessing there's a lot of animated towns out there that they could have just snatched, and they already looked really good. That's why the terrain where they fought the mole people or where he spanked the holy mage didn't look nearly as polished as the other places. So that's just my guess. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but that's just what it felt like at the moment. But overall, though, I definitely want to know what you guys are feeling about this show. I've already dropped another show that is practically like it, with a character traveling to another world that isn't his own and trying to make a life out of it, pretty much. And I don't know. There's multiple shows that kind of are going off for the same genre, going off on the same way of trying to bring people audience in. It's hard not to compare them, right? Like if you go to another world and you become super strong, there's tons of shows that have already done that. So you're automatically putting your show in that bracket, in my opinion, when you do something like that. So regardless of that, seeing him taking care of this girl, his main quote unquote servant, uh, it's pretty awesome, man. Like seeing her gimp and knowing about her wounded leg and stuff just goes to show you how much he doesn't want to see her like suffering in any type of way, shape, or form, which is really nice of him. But it's also like a way for them to get spotted and seeing him doing things that don't really seem appropriate, or I don't know. It's just everything he does that's supposedly nice in her eyes. Like everybody around them were taking it in as like something completely different, right? They're like all the nobles were completely blown back that he even, had good taste in wine, that he's, you know, um, feeding his maid or whatever. They must be related. Everybody's just in his business, and then with the holy mage coming in and straight up making a scene and even calling him a demon lord out loud, it wasn't that much of a like people were, oh my god, I gotta get out of this restaurant. This place is bad. And before they can even make that choice, he offers to buy everybody wine. So he has a very, very intelligent way of clearing up situations that are misunderstandings in his eyes, or just clearing up things that look really, really disruptive and stuff. So I appreciate his like maturity that they're showing him, that they're showing the character in this show. But at the same time, it's only so much of there's only so much that he's actually doing that shows maturity than what he's actually doing when he just starts spanking people when he sees that seam is fit. The other part is, like I was saying, the maid now, or the holy maiden, really thinks that she deserves or should be running around with him, because as soon as we see that this guy the demon lord bodies her whole crew and spanks her, um, then we come to find out that he has taken her money, quote unquote, for the apology of attacking, and she has some type of money that nobody, only certain high ups should have. So he's literally just going around spending all of her money before she can keep up or catch up to him, and then come to find out he's already bought the most expensive room of all times. She can't buy anything because he has her money, and then uh, somehow, some way, she's such a big name around there. I don't think anybody's gonna turn her down for information wise that is like simple to just achieve. Like, oh, where is this man? Oh, around the corner to the left, hang a right, and you'll be right there. Like they don't care to protect him from someone like a holy maiden. So it goes to show you the dynamics of the world. She definitely has a lot of reach in this world, and for right reasons, but at the same time, she can't do anything to the demon lord, right? So we'll see how this plays out. I honestly thought this show was going to look a little bit cleaner than it did, but at the same time, it's not the worst show I've seen. I've seen way, like, there's a show that's out that has just straight CGI 3D, and I just can't. Like, I love the plot that's in there. Like, I don't know. there's something about eating monsters to gain their abilities and stuff like that. Like it sounds cool, but to sit there and watch how it looks, I just can't. And I wound up saying things that I don't mean overall, probably. So, with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. We definitely are in for quite a bit of anime lately, so I just hope that when we keep getting all these shows that they all branch out away from each other. When I say branch out away from each other, I don't want to watch one show and then completely forget what show I'm watching because it feels so much like another show that I'm watching, you know? Like once they start making shows wind up being the same overall narrative and everything, that's when you kind of start losing me. Like I like it. I like to watch something that looks unique, seems unique, and then turns out to be unique more than it is compared to other shows. And then if you watch another show, you can't compare them in certain aspects. You can compare the overall details of it, like go into another world, meeting a bunch of cute girls, becoming stronger than everybody in this world, saving the world. Sure, that all happens in some of these shows, but the way you get to the saving the world part should be different, right? It should have different types of end game ways that you got to these conclusions, in my opinion. So, with all that being said, I have one more video I got to make today, so I hope you guys stick around for that. And if you don't mind checking out the other video I dropped, it would be greatly appreciated. If not, it's totally fine. I will definitely talk to you guys later today if you do check out my newer video that I'll drop later. So, with all that being said, have an awesome one and peace.